A joke for today: how is the Roman Empire cut in half? The answer: with a pair of Caesars. Great stuff, but even greater stuff ahead. Hoover struggles with the Great Depression. That's our topic for today. Concepts: what is President Hoover's approach in dealing with the Great Depression, and are Americans satisfied with it? And then how does his approach change with time? Finally, what is the bonus army? Explain what they wanted. How did the handling of that situation assure Hoover's inability to become reelected? Key vocab for today: not much, rugged individualism, and Herbert Hoover, the president that has to deal with the initial rough years of the Great Depression. Just who is this Herbert Hoover guy, you are probably asking yourself. And let's fill that in right now. Herbert Hoover is elected president in 1928, becomes president in 1929, and he is a Republican. And if we were to break it down into one big reason why he's elected into office, it would have to do with the presidential economic success of the Republican presidents, throughout the 1920s. And he is expected basically to continue that trend. But then the Great Depression begins and our economy gets thrown into a tailspin. And that's where we're going to study quickly Herbert Hoover's business thinking during that time, because he really does fail to do much to better the economy. It gets worse and worse and worse until he's relieved of his presidency in 1933. And the first thing we can say about his business thinking or theory is that he is a believer in a market economy and the swings that it goes through, meaning that for a while the economy is going to do well, and then it hits a peak, and then it starts to do poorly, and it does this for a while until it goes on a good swing, an upswing again, and then that repeats itself over and over and over. So he kind of waits and sits back for this downswing to get over with, this downswing called the Great Depression. But as you and I both know now, that's not going to happen for some time. The second thing we can make a note of is he really believes in rugged individualism, which means you are responsible. You, me, the person next to you are all responsible for making something of yourselves to make things better for yourself. Again, which kind of allows him to take on this mindset that with time, with people trying to make things better for themselves on their own, things will get better. Okay. So what is the result of this thinking and practice by Herbert Hoover? It's all not good. That's what everything is said and done. The first 4 years of the Great Depression are the worst 4 years. We see his economic theory of laissez-faire economics, which means kind of hands-off, government doesn't do much. It really he doesn't do much during this time. He waits for things to get better, and inevitably they don't. You see a list in front of you here, and it has five categories, if you will: unemployment, business foreclosures, soup kitchens, shanty towns, otherwise known as Hoovervilles, and hobos. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and think about each one of these. And in the first 4 years of the Depression, I want you to think to yourself, should this go up during the 4 roughest years of the Great Depression, or are they going to go down during the first 4 years of the Great Depression? So here we go. Unemployment, does it go up or down from 1929 or 1933? And the answer is it goes up, and it's going to skyrocket up to 25%. Business foreclosures, up or down? These are going to go up. Remember, a foreclosure is something shutting down. Like a business, it's going to fail. Soup kitchens, up or down? They are going to go up at this time. If you forgot what a soup kitchen is, check out the previous lesson. Shanty towns or Hoovervilles, up or down? They're going to go up as well. And finally, hobos. They're going to increase during this time as well. Everything that's basically negative is on the rise. The low point for President Hoover and his presidency comes in 1932 with what's known as the Bonus Army. A bunch of World War veterans who are supposed to get a bonus in the 1940s for serving in World War One, they say, you know what, we're owed this money in the 1940s, but we're in the middle of the Great Depression. We may not even live until the 1940s. So they march on Washington, D.C., along with many other people. And it's about 40,000 plus people arguing or protesting that they should get their bonus checks in 1932 instead of later on. Um, Hoover allows it to happen. The shanty town that these veterans and others make totals over 40,000. I think I said that already. Um, and Hoover finally says enough is enough. He wants Douglas MacArthur to clear him out, and he does so. And it's a pretty tough scene. You have the U.S. Army basically marching out against veterans, World War One vets, kicking them out. You have a baby who's killed, an 8-year-old boy who's blinded, many people shot. It's a big time black eye on the Hoover administration. That's as if things weren't bad enough already. One of the high points, or one of the successes for Hoover, is the building of the Hoover Dam, or the Boulder Dam, which is in Colorado, but it ends up giving electricity to very much a large part of the Southwest region, including parts of Arizona. And what's significant about this is not only what it does, what the dam does, but it's also a sign that Hoover is getting the government involved, something that needs to happen. Unfortunately for Hoover, it's too little, too late, and what he does there is on such a small scale compared to what the next president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, does with his terms. See you next time.